Previously, in the anime, Sisbel announced she's gonna compete for Iska and left Alice speechless, but Alice had more important job at hand and left to return home to deliver a letter of Sisbel. And after that, Sisbel found out Mizmiz was hiding her star emblem with a second-grade seal. So she strikes a deal with them that she would supply them first-grade seals in exchange for Iska and her team safely escorting her to the Imperial capital, because she was being targeted by Lord Mask. Lord Mask thinks Sisbel is a traitor who joined hands with the Empire and approaches Alice to include her in the investigation, so their mother, the Queen, quickly orders Alice to get her little sister Sisbel safely back home. So Rin tells Alice to use her luck to find Sisbel this time, not Iska. But her luck was too attracted to Iska and found him near soft drink shop. They are like made for each other and even ordered the same soft drinks. And then realized they were standing next to each other. Rin was on guard, but Iska forgot who she was until she showed her hairstyle. But Alice certainly found Iska's new looks pleasing. But back on topic, they are enemies, and right there their order arrived. So Iska took the order and slowly backed off, saying he's not on an Empire's mission. But there's some other Imperial soldiers found Alice and asked her about the boy. So Alice made up that he's a lost guy and she was showing him the way. And this way she sends Iska off and she sets the meeting them at 9. Then she thought to follow Iska, and by the looks of it he should have his friends around like Mizmiz. So that could be a problem. So they found him near hotel and saw he was waiting for Sisbel. That was a shocker, and the rumors seem true that she's in contact with Empire if she's with Iska. There they saw the second drink was for Sisbel, and for now they are walking side by side. Then slowly they touched their shoulders, and then very slowly she took his hand. And suddenly she puts her head onto him, which raises the level of jealousy that got her all red, because Iska belongs to her and now Sisbel is taking him away. There another lovey-dovey scene happened, and while Iska was looking away she licked that cream. That's it. Alice now recognized Sisbel as her greatest enemy than the Empire. But Rin stopped her before she actually punishes her own sister, so Alice gets her composure back, and Rin asked Alice to let her handle them, and getting her permission. She confronts these two and told them Lord Mask is after Sisbel with certain charges, so Queen Mother sent Alice and her to protect Sisbel, but Sisbel refused their help. Then what about Iska? So he reveals why he's here, because keeping quiet would make Sisbel a suspect, and away from there a certain monster was roaming freely with the info he got from the Emperor. Then after some time, Iska drops Sisbel back at the hotel to go along with Rin to meet Alice, because Sisbel is taking help from a soldier of the Empire, which could throw the whole Imperial capital in uproar. But Iska also doesn't want this, but he had to because of a deal, and Rin wouldn't have believed in Sisbel if there were someone other than Iska. But for now Alice wants to talk with him, and she's so angry right now that she turned the whole room into ice. So Iska tried to explain himself, but Alice has no interest. She was angry because Iska was walking with Sisbel, and more so, he was holding hands with Sisbel the whole time and left Alice alone. But Iska was her guard, yet he should have some consideration, so that is why Alice thinks he betrayed her, because he promised that he would only become hers. So Iska asked for the seals in exchange for not being Sisbel's escort, but Alice can't give him that, so that clears it up. So Alice understood the situation is tight for both of them and tells him she's not mad at him, but Sisbel is another matter. Alice is furious at her. And the reason she called Iska here was to judge Sisbel as the older princess. It's like a confirmation of what Sisbel did with Iska, and as her rival she has the right to know how it feels. So she took Iska's hand to imitate how Sisbel must have felt back then. She makes up she has to experience it firsthand to know, and turns this whole thing into an investigation. Like how a girl feels holding an arm of an enemy soldier. She's so cute, surely getting jealous of her sister and trying to do the same thing by making excuses like investigation. But investigation got a little too much that touches her racks, and right after that her breath started to get faster and said she doesn't want to let him go. And instantly refused to admit she said that, but the closeness makes both of them go silent, and right when the scene got a bit romantic, Rin came in thinking Iska was taking advantage of Alice. But Alice's skin was glowing, but how can she admit to the things that just happened? So Rin saw she has fever and blamed Iska for ignoring her fever, so she told him to get out. And bro ran off, but he could still feel the warmth of Alice on his arm. But at the Imperial capital, Altair was pleased that they forced the Zoa family to remain in castle under the pretense of meeting, to secure Sisbel. But while they were leaving, someone attacked the room and Queen got a bit injured. But none of them were in a life-threatening situation, so the other officials came in, but there's no person outside of the room. Yet everyone present there heard the voice of Lord Mask before the attack, and right there Lord Mask enters the show. So Lord Mask immediately gets accused of the assassination attempt on the Queen and got restrained, and there the head of the Hydra family comes in, Lord Talisman. And first of all he orders to do first aid to the Queen's injury and then said he'll deal with the Zoa family. They can even have blue activists in meeting while searching for the culprit outside of the castle, and called Vichyssoise out to help investigation. Altair goes with Talisman's plan and says to mobilize royal family's power since the Queen was attacked, so Queen gave her permission to proceed and sends them off, but this time, Sisbel would haven been be helpful in finding the culprit, and at the Empire, the Pillars were discussing how their soldiers with fake Starcrest got into Imperial Nation, and the news they sent was of Queen assassination attempt, and the culprit was from the faction that opposed the Queen, but Rizia knew there are some in Imperial Nation working with Empire. So since it's her, one of the Pillars reveals that there is one who was working with them, and this attack had made the Imperial Nation weak, so the time is perfect. And they gathered the strongest soldiers of the Empire, including the Emperor's subordinate, to launch a mission to capture the Queen. And right here, our video ends for today. By the way, if you haven't watched the previous episodes, the playlist link is in the description. Please go there to watch episode 1 to understand the storyline perfectly, and if you watched the previous episodes, then like the video and subscribe the channel to support me. Until next time.